Many women find themselves in violent relationships every day.
Oftentimes, victims are too scared or embarrassed to admit to violence that's happening at home.
He was continuing to stalk her and show up at her home.
Sending emergency. My mommy and Daddy are having a fight.
It's tragic that it can be often very hard and very difficult for women to leave those relationships.
You don't understand. He has a history of beating me up. He's been arrested for assaulting me.
According to the police report obtained by Not on Your Side, she yelled, "Oh my God, he's here."
Domestic violence. Domestic violence.
Domestic violence.
A history of domestic violence.
We need to stop being so reactive to violence and start being more proactive. Project is currently looking for podcast sponsors. If you'd like to be mentioned before and during each podcast, please email us at warriorforged@gmail.com or through our website or social media platforms. You can find us at warriorforgeproject.com or find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, or YouTube. The Warrior Forge Project is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation, and all of its team members are volunteers. All sponsorships and donations are greatly appreciated, and 100% of sponsorships and donations go straight into program development to travel and teach women, children, and families mental and physical self-defense. Good morning, everybody. This is Stacey and Sam with the Warrior Forge Project, and we are back to podcasting. We obviously have a little more time to do our podcasting now that we're in COVID-19 epidemic lockdown. And so we're going to talk a little bit today about health, mental health during COVID-19. So here we are. Welcome, Sam.
Hi.
Welcome to my podcast studio.
I love the podcast studio. It's so comfy in here.
When we've done phone things before, we've always kind of kept it to no video. But since we haven't seen any of our friends for so long, we're going to try to do video chats. And we'll try to get a few Instagram live things going on our Warrior Forge Project page, just to pop in and say hi to all our instructors and see how everybody's doing, and then maybe discuss a few like safety points and stuff. So here we are, and we're back up and going and kind of adjusting to what's going on right now. Hope everybody out there is safe and as happy as can be. It's kind of hard adjustment, especially for those of us that are extremely active and go to gyms all the time, and for us that do martial arts, it's extremely hard adjustment because we're so used to seeing our friends and getting that outlet every day.
Immediately trying to hug and strangle your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Not doing that anymore. It's like, oh,
yeah.
So sad.
Well, we have the social distancing, but then we also have, now we're all on lockdown. So I know a few people were still going to meet in small groups, but it kind of defeats the purpose because you're, sweating on each other, and you can't really do martial arts without touching. So there's all these solo drills coming out. Did you see some of the solo drills that people have?
You mean purple for actually doing warm-ups?
Yeah, like solo warm-ups and shadow box, or kind of like katas, jujitsu katas.
Oh my gosh, I was giggling. The no-touch martial arts guys, the no-touch knockouts, they had it right all along. That's
It's funny. A lot of people are really creative with building the dummies out of teddy bears and pillows and towels. Have you seen those?
I'm getting ready to put one together with one of my old piece that are yes out of. So.
I think I'm going to go steal the giant teddy bear out of Annabelle's room. She has a giant teddy bear. I think I might bring that up to the gym.
Mom, where'd my teddy bear go? Oh, it goes up there. It's just in like 7 pieces.
I was trying to triangle John on the couch last night, and he wasn't having it. Having is the new word.
Max isn't having it either. I'm like, play, and he's like, no, can we do gun disarms? I'll do sticks. I'll do whatever you want to train. I just want to train. And he's like, no.
At least you can do a lot of stuff just solo. You can practice movement. It's not exactly ideal or what we want to do, but there's a lot of movement drills we can do. So
I've got a pull-up bar coming today. It's supposed to get here by the end of the day, so I'm going to be installing that in my pull-ups again.
Nice. Yes. I have to get mine out. Mine's in this closet here.
Yeah, like a big thing, I think, those of us who are using exercise to cope with our mental health issues that we don't want to talk about. I don't know anyone who ever does that. I'm talking about myself. I would exercise to cope. Not being able to go to jiu-jitsu or like the gym has been killing me, so I found some plates and kettlebells, and I've been doing that at the workout and running, but it's not the same. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to the gym, I'm going to go skip with my friend Phil, like...
You know there's an end to it, though, which I think is, the big thing is, even though it sucks and we're stuck in the house for another month, there is a shining light at the end of the tunnel, at least.
If we can get people to stop going out in huge groups.
Yeah. Yeah, it is going to get worse before it gets better. And
The other day, people were like out in groups of 12. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I know even here in California, there's, people still all out on the roads and going to grocery stores and gathering and having parties and stuff like that. And it's just...
So I have been doing the grocery store, but I'm doing once a week and for my grandparents as well, because my grandparents are 80.
Well, that's how you should be doing it. That's how it's advised to do it, is one family member goes and does it for everybody in their family. But yeah, so I've done Instacarts for the last year, so I'm used to it. The only adjustment I had to really make was now it's so far behind that it's like 3 days. So if I order today, I won't get a shopper for 3 days. So I just have to order ahead of time and make sure that we have enough between that time. Trey just went to Target just now. They've gone, I think this is the second time they've been out in 10 days. So I just said, make sure you get everything you need. So.
I have to get Drano. I had to fix my mouth up. And I was like, oh no.
That is one thing, like all the home improvement things are getting done, and with the whole mental health part, I think it's really important for people to keep a schedule and not say, oh, I'm just going to wake up whenever, or I don't need to do the dishes because I can do them tomorrow, or I can let the laundry build up. That's like one big thing that I've kept the entire time is I don't necessarily have an alarm going off in the morning, but I get up and make sure that, the house is in order, and I'm not getting behind on chores, and go straight to doing a workout. And the same routine things, I think I'm a little bit more lax about it, but I still have the same routine as I had before all this. Obviously, my workouts aren't as intense and they've changed, but I try to keep the same schedule.
Keeping the same circadian rhythm while, like, waking up around the same time, like you say you don't, I typically, my body clock's set for about, like, 5:30 alarm because I have to be up at 4. For me, like making sure I'm staying on a consistent sleep schedule, not staying up till 2 in the morning because that'll trigger my insomnia. I don't think you've ever meant 3 hours. It's 3 hours for 3 days. But keeping a consistent like schedule, like I still have classes, though it's online and through a camera.
How's that going for you? I've heard a lot of like mixed things. Like some people like to do online school and some people just can't even do it. So
thankfully all my classes are interesting. My intro to counseling class is a little tough because we got rid of our counseling groups. Like I was learning how to be a basic counselor, and now we can't do that because we can't meet up in our group. Like some of my classes that I wish they would lecture in, they weren't doing lectures, and they kind of just gave us the finger and said read your textbook, and that makes me want to try the class like exercise physiology. And then, like, biomechanics, that's fun. My core teacher is like, this is so awkward. He literally told us at the end of our last class, I miss you guys.
oh,
It was so sweet. And he was like this little nerdy, he's a doctor, but like he's an he studied engineering and then switched to biomechanics. It was the weirdest progression, but he's like this little nerdy guy. And he's like, I miss you guys. So we're all like, aw, too.
it's awesome that the media, like the technology has evolved in the between now and 100 years ago, you know, that you can have things like the video, you know, at least you can have that kind of contact even though you're not in person. You can actually see your whole classroom, you can see the teacher. So even though you're in your home setting, you actually can have that emotional contact, I think, even though you can't have the physical contact.
Social distance, kind of like we're doing right now.
Right. You don't have to be emotionally distanced just because you're socially distanced.
Honestly, for the first few days, I was really kind of like steps back from everyone, like including my friends here, my coworkers, and I'm like, oh, there's no way I need to like at least still stay in contact, but people need to understand like I'm not the sake of trying to quarantine for my grandparents. So like that's my big like at night it can still affect people in the 20-something age group, but it sounds like for a majority of healthy people my age, you're not gonna necessarily die from it.
Right, you catch it easy.
Mm-hmm.
But you, yeah, as long as you don't have underlying health issues, it doesn't affect you as much, but
I don't take ibuprofen now, just in case I do get it.
I know, I haven't been taking it either.
I've been taking Tylenol for pain.
Well, you just take all the precautions, you know what I mean? Like, you try to live a normal, everyday life with taking the precautions that they're putting out. And if it's not for you specifically, it's for everybody around you.
Anybody else's hands cracking from hand washing?
Oh, yes.
Mine are like, not bleeding currently, but then my hands explode at least once a day. It hurts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, especially it's that time of year where, you know, there's allergies and stuff, so skin is a lot drier.
Oh, and you guys still have at least humidity down in California. In potato lands, it's very dry. So dry.
Is it still really cold in Idaho?
Well, there months have been 28 degrees, but it's not as cold as it could be. It's not -4.
Oh, that's good.
It does get to the -4. It's been like 28 when I go on my runs, so I'm in like a sweat, a hat, gloves, like, oh god.
That's what Annabelle's been, when it's sunny, she has this 2-hour window where there's sun in our backyard. And so she's been tanning. That's like part of her daily regimen. But it's been off and on raining, kind of bipolar weather here. So I'm reading the CDC guidelines for mental health during this crisis. And it says things you can do to support yourself for mental health. Take breaks from watching, reading, or listening news stories, including social media. Hearing about the pandemic repeatedly can be upsetting and frustrating. Taking care of your body. I've seen a lot of people like saying how they're eating more or they're gaining weight. And it's only this is the third week going into the third week. Pretty much for most people, especially in the high risk areas. So it's important, it's never too late, even when we're not in a crisis or an epidemic, to, say, okay, I'm going to start now. And it doesn't have to be tomorrow. It doesn't have to be Monday. It doesn't have to be a specific day or a time. Just start now. If you're feeling bad about the decisions that you've made in the last 2.5 weeks, you can start right now. Take care of your body. Take deep breaths. This is stretch, meditate, try to eat healthy, well-balanced meals, exercise regularly, get plenty of sleep, and avoid overdoing the alcohol and drugs, because I'm sure even I did a Instacart of Bevmo because I am low on my inventory and I wanted a drink the other night. And then I was like, I probably shouldn't stock up. You know what I mean? It's hard. It's almost hard not to stock up when everybody's hoarding. And it was like that for me since the beginning. It was like, I don't understand the hoarding because there's enough to go around. There's enough to go around for everybody all the time. So why are we hoarding? I don't understand the hoarding. But then the normal people that don't hoard almost have to stock up on certain things because of the hoarders. So it's hard to deal with things like that.
Get 4 gallons. My stepmom got some and froze it just in case. One of the things, I don't know if you said it or if it just wasn't on the list. Getting sunlight, like you were saying, pulling in light, not necessarily 2 hours. Sun is really important for actually hormone production and keep correct levels of vitamin D in the blood. If you don't, it is sad. That's how seasonal affective disorder works. Is you don't get enough sunlight. So going and taking the puppies for a walk, or usually when I run it's dark, but I'll go sit out in the backyard and play a little bit, just deep breathing.
Yeah, that's actually been one of my favorite times of the day is taking the dogs out in the field next to our house, just to let them run and get their energy out, but then also just get that little bit of sun, because most of my workouts I do inside. And so I'm not going outside as much as I was, even though I wasn't spending a lot of time outside. I was outside, every day.
Outside of the walls, though.
Yeah, outside of the walls, yeah.
Well, you're driving to the gym, you're getting a little bit of sunlight while you're in the car.
You notice the weather, you notice, oh, it feels good,
I have installed curtains, so and they're the blackout curtains, so at night I close them so I can sleep well, but as soon as it's morning time, I crack them open. It honestly kind of been helping with some light regulation for my plant. Another one you said was out on social media, and that was one I wanted to touch on. That has been huge for me, because the first week I was on Facebook constantly. My phone.
Yeah, I was too.
10 hours a day.
But I was so entertained by all the memes. That was the best part of it.
Some of the memes were good, but a lot of it, at least for me, there's a lot of politics going around it, and I don't.
Oh yes.
Politics to begin with, but just all the, in keeping up with like how many are died, how many are
negativity. Yeah.
It made my chest feel tight. It made me feel heavy. It made me sad, and like I had to kind of step back.
Mm-hmm.
And like I go on social media. I'll go on Instagram because it's typically more positive. I'll go on Pinterest. I love Pinterest. Oh my god.
Especially for cooking. I made an apple pie from scratch.
I made berry pie yesterday. It was gluten-free for my grandparents.
And there's that kind of things that like, okay, I can't eat this. And I do really good with that, not in this situation. But I have been eating more of the food that I cook for the family, like the stuff that I cook for them. Like lasagna. I ate lasagna and I was like not even really thinking about it. And then I thought about it after I ate the lasagna. And I'm looking down, I'm like, I can't do this because this will make me mad.
So, I know everyone's going to be like, shut up, Sam. I've been trying to gain weight still. I lost weight again because of stress. I'm phony. Seriously, all my ribs are like poking out again. I'm like, crap.
Have you done anything like new? Like that's one of the things that I was thinking of last week. I've been wanting to get back on top of learning Spanish, so that's one thing that I'm trying to put into my routine. Well, in the next month.
I've been working on scales on the guitar.
Oh, you said reading. You're doing a lot more reading.
I've been reading, but then I'll bust my guitar out, and my hands, I don't know if I'm getting arthritis from jiu-jitsu. Maybe I should try taping my fingers before playing guitar. My hands hurt all the time, but I've been trying to do like major scales on my guitar a little bit. That 5. I need to get a 3/4. I have a full-size guitar. My hands are too small. I can't reach and do bar chords.
Yeah, the short hand.
But yeah, I've been trying new things. Not that I'm new at making bread, but I want to get back into making bread. I love making bread.
What about like family activities too? Because I know I've tried to. Like, I have 2 teenagers that don't have much to do. One's not working, and the other one is still a minor, and they want to see their friends, and it's hard for them, you know, at first it was kind of hard for them to understand they couldn't go out and see friends and stuff like that, even if their friends said that nobody at home was sick or anything like that. But they've gotten used to it, although yesterday they were pretty upset that it was extended to April 30th. So, and I feel bad for people that don't have a really harmonizing home life. You know what I mean? Like, maybe they don't get along with their family, and being out of the house keeps them sane.
It's just Fox News is on all day. And I hate the news to begin with, but when the news is just COVID-19, I'm like
24 hours a day.
Like, my folks and I we'll sit and eat dinner, and like we've been playing phones the past couple nights, so we'll scream at each other in a nicer, more productive way.
With some communication.
You asshole! You put that down on purpose. I can't see your head on the nose.
We got there's the Nintendo Switch. Do you have one of those?
No.
So Animal Crossing came out like 2 weeks ago.
Person I've been flirting with and trying to go on dates with just got it.
So we've been doing that with the kids, and so it's like one of those like healthy kind of outlets of not thinking about everything that's going on right now, and then kind of a healthy competition of who can build their island fast enough.
My brother and I will play Minecraft.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like Minecraft.
I love Animal Crossing. I played them when I was younger. I don't have a Switch, so I can't. But Max and I will sit and play Minecraft and do like creative mode.
Yeah.
So we feel like the stress of when a creeper comes up and blows up. But like, I think video games are kind of, I don't want to say they're a good escape right now, but I feel like, at least for me, it's a good kind of like distraction, as long as I don't sit and play till
For hours or all day long, yeah.
If I don't stay up till 2 in the morning is the thing for me.
Because you have to keep on schedule. You can't use it as an excuse to, I can just sleep tomorrow.
I'll just sleep in. I don't have to do my kettlebell workout in the morning.
Yeah, and the kids have been really good about working out too, and so I think it's important for me to notice when they're just playing video games or sleeping all day, and like kick them, you know.
Go for a run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you losing his mind without the gym?
Not really. They were doing really good at first. He's the one that's hasn't been really exercising a lot the last week, and you can tell in his temper. Like he'll like throw a remote into the wall. I'm like, you really need to go on a run. And so his girlfriend's actually here. She was at her mom's, and her mom wasn't feeling well, so we made her stay with her parents until everybody in their household was well for at least 4 days. So once she got past that stage, she was allowed to come over. So she's been here for 4 or 5 days. And so now they have each other. And so my daughter is the one that's, I want to go see friends. She has one friend that we know that her family is kind of the same as we are. They're all healthy, but they have a couple high-risk people. So they're really making sure that she stays in. So we're allowing Annabelle to go run with her. So they'll go and meet up for runs because she doesn't live too far from here. So that's been a good outlet for her.
Max is he's considered an essential worker because he works at a fast food restaurant, which is confusing to me. But he still gets to get out and
work
with people.
Right.
And when he comes home, I'm like, hey, I haven't seen people all day. And he's like, calm down, crackhead.
That's how John is too. Like, John's an essential worker. He's they got a letter from the Corps of Engineers that allows them to work because they're on government construction jobs. Yeah. So he got that letter. So they've been going back and forth to work, but their office is closed for the main admin staff. So it's just them that are working on jobs for the Corps of Engineers. So he's been able to go to work, but they're doing half days, full days, short days, then days at home. So it's kind of a variety. But at least he gets to go, and he gets to go, interact with people and be at the office and stuff like that.
I got laid off from one of my jobs until this clears over, because both my jobs are in education. So I'm like,
yeah.
Though the neighbor I was talking about who's a doctor, it sounds like they're going to be forcing doctors to start doing overtime and 12 hours a day every day for 7 days.
Wow, yeah.
Future, and she is like, I'm going to take to the boy, and I'm like, perfect.
It's like the people that are at home. I feel really bad for people that are either laid off or they're not getting a paycheck, or small businesses. I think are the biggest worry is the small businesses that are really going to hurt from this or have to close their doors because of it. And that's a big stressful thing. So we're really fortunate.
I don't have rent to worry about at home, but it's still kind of I don't have a paycheck coming in. I need to make sure I have enough when car insurance goes out and my Hulu and Disney Plus access to Netflix because I, of course, have all three for just me.
Yeah, that's the next. I want to talk to Linda later, and maybe a couple other moms in our instructor group that have little kids at home, because that's another thing that people have to deal with, is actually homeschooling kids when they're not meant to homeschool kids, you know. Like, that's part of their sanity, is sending their kids to school. And, you know, sometimes some of our friends get their work done while their kids are at school. So now they're forced to work from home and homeschool, and it's really taking a toll on quite a few of the people we know. So.
One of my friends here, a 8-year-old, and she has been posting tons of pictures, and the poor child is like, why can't we go to the park? It's really hard for, especially littles that small, to understand, like, what's going on.
Right.
And it's you feel bad for them. I kind of almost like, after 9/11, like, I didn't know what was going on. It looked like a movie.
Yeah. You have to kind of keep your kids' sanity by trying to give them a sense of normality. But then in the meantime, you're going crazy because you're working from home.
And tutoring the kids. And trying to keep the kids out of your hair.
Right. And some people aren't natural teachers or able to have that patience with their kids, even for homework, let alone actually making sure that they learn. So, you know, you didn't go get credentials to teach. And all of a sudden you're teaching your kids from home. For me, like for Annabelle, homeschooling in high school and stuff, it was easy because she just did her own. She was self-motivated to do it. But, man, with little kids, that's rough.
I've got a 3rd and a 4th grader across the street that I'm starting with next week. And I'm trying to figure out positive motivation. But if I have to use negative, it works quicker. There was one more thing I wanted to put on my list. Or that I put on my list. For individuals who are on medications, pick your stuff up early.
Oh, at the pharmacy?
At the pharmacy. Like, I'm on a couple medications right now, and one of them was starting to get low, and I was like, oh crap. And like, trying to get the pharmacy to fill it quickly, it took them, I think, 2.5 days to fill a really basic prescription because of the backed up. So if you're on any prescription medication, like just for your health in general, fill it early. And then, like, I go through Walmart, so I get to use the drive-thru. But like, making sure you have your stuff ahead of time, or trying to get a stockpile. I'm trying to get a stockpile, but I can't get a lot of it. I've found that really helpful because I'm on all sorts of meds right now.
So, so for everybody out there, getting your meds early, same as the groceries and stuff, keeping a list of things that you're getting low on so that you can get those things the next time you go to the store instead of waiting till you run out, especially for your mental health. If you're taking any prescriptions that you need daily, the pharmacies are backed up. So getting those, on the schedule to call in early as you can possibly get them so that they're filled on time. Anything else do we need to talk about today? I mean, and there's so many things. We could talk about this topic for hours, of course, with everything going on. Make sure that you have the healthy eating and sleeping habits, and keep a schedule even though you're not allowed to go out and work. I know that helps a lot with kids. They're used to a schedule, and I'm sure that all you parents out there of little kids, the teachers in the schools have probably said something about keeping a schedule. And it is really important to, get your kids out of bed at a specific time, Monday through Friday, and have that normalcy and that schedule to keep you and your kids sane. Maybe you have that reward factor of, okay, we're going to get up, we're going to do 2 to 3 hours of school, depending on the age group. Then between, 12 and 2 or 10 and 12, they can have their free time, or they can have movie time where they watch a movie and you get your work done. Things like that. So if it's the same every day, Monday through Friday, a lot of people have a lot of success with that. I know that when my kids were young, that's what I did for periods of time that they were homeschooled. And the excessive use of alcohol, tobacco, other drugs, that's going to not help you. And excessive worry or sadness, things that can then really lessen that is by turning the TV off, or turning social media off, just restricting yourself from that for a day or even a few hours a day. Put yourself on that schedule of, I'm not going to look at my social media between, the hours of 9 and 2 or something.
When you have that worry or sadness, if you need to take a step back, mindfulness meditations on YouTube are awesome. There's a few apps I use that have really good meditations, and they're free right now. Sanvello is one of them, Sanvello. It's 100% free for the premium version until the COVID-19 thing is done. And it has some awesome, I did one, and it was set to the ocean, and it was telling me to be peaceful and be kind to myself, and it was great.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of workouts out there with everybody that owns gyms or avidly goes to gyms, especially, martial arts gyms, CrossFit gyms. All those people are putting out tons of free videos right now of things that you can do, fun workouts that you can do at home. So look up, any fitness thing right now is doing lots of tons of home workouts, or sending links to those workouts. So there's a lot of access to those things, and getting outside, once a day is helpful.
I think we covered a majority of it. I don't know if there's any other major. Wash your hands, people. Don't touch your face.
Find a fun series to go back with your teens. It's fun to watch things like the Back to the Future series, where maybe your teens haven't seen that, and it's funny to watch because some of the time has gone by of this is what the future was supposed to look like, but that time has already passed. So
have you watched Tiger King yet?
No.
Oh my god.
No, I haven't bought into that. Ozark just came out, so we need to watch that.
I wasn't buying into it either, and then my folks put it on, and it was just playing, and it's ridiculous. It's so funny. It's like Oklahoma, Florida, and Las Vegas meet.
Oh, yay. And people from all three of those.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez. Maybe I'll force myself to watch that. I don't know. Seems like a gigantic waste of time.
It's a crime show, Stacey.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No.
It's episode 5. Yes, it is.
Oh, I'll think on that. On that note. All right. So we're going to, with the Warrior Forge project, if you're listening, we are going to start doing a lot more podcasts. We're going to be we've been putting out workouts on our social media. So we're going to continue to do some fun workouts and post those workouts, as well as we will have set up some coffee and lunch dates with our Warrior Forged instructors over Instagram Live. So we should start doing that this week as well. So keep an eye out for all of that. And just remember, be safe and be your own hero.
Be Warrior Forged.
Yeah, baby.